Welcome to Hybiz News. My name is Suresh Kochatil. The rampant destruction that COVID-19 caused has impacted the human resources sector as well. From screening of candidates to interviewing them and even making an offer, everything has gone online. The human touch in human resources is missing. But what do experts in this sector have to say? How will the world of human resources look, say, a year from now? To tell us about her perspective of what these challenges the sector faces, we have with us today Geeta Geeta. Geeta is a professional social worker and a lawyer by qualification and comes with 3 decades of experience in human resources. She has been there and done that. The past secretary of the National HRD Network, past president of the Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs of India, member, Hyderabad City Council for Women Forum, management committee member of the Hyderabad Management Association, HYSEA HR Forum, women director on the Board of NSIC, among others. Welcome to the show, Geeta. Geeta, the lockdown saw almost every company enforcing a work from home rule, especially the ones that could keep their processes going. In a post-lockdown scenario, do you see this culture continuing?
Yeah, I see most of the organizations are a little bit apprehensive of continuing the hygiene factor, the safety, the health related issues. So I think most of them would still continue to have this work from home. Especially IT companies, they can afford to do that because the work is mostly system driven. So large population in Hyderabad, this side of the city is of course IT related, so they would continue, and I have heard people saying that it's working well and people are productive, contributing. In fact, a lot of HR activities are also done online these days, so the face-to-face interaction is very limited, and this work from home might continue for some more time.
Companies like TCS have declared that 75% of its employees will work from home by 2025. Will this enable more women to enter the workforce, especially women who took a maternity break and want to come back and make a career?
Yeah, I see that the workforce would be very inclusive now with respect to women. Because a lot of talented women had to take a quick break because of their imperative needs of having a child, or taking care of elderly, or husband being transferred sometime back. So when they come back, the homecoming or different kind of programs corporates have brought in to bring back talented women. However, it wasn't working so well, but with this situation, I think it's a good thing for women to come back to work, and work from home is a good option when the child is small and they need a mother to be around, which is a win-win situation. Of course, the corporates have to look at reskilling and other aspects which would help them to get better contribution from the women.
Will there be a tweak in the recruitment policies to get the right fit employees to work in a process where the team members are scattered all over the place and there's no physical connect?
So this becomes a universal rule that work from home is here to stay for a longer time. So recruitment of course has to tune in to understand and assess the person. So what might change from the current recruitment policies is to assess a person whether the person is attuned to work from home, and also maybe I am just, it's a little far stretched visualization that you may want to have a video of the house internal, so that that person is, whatever they are confirming that they can work from home is possible. So this again looks from the privacy angle, that you are going and looking at the place where the person is working. And secondly, you would also like to know that who else is in the family, then make an assessment how this person would work. This little far-stretched, but however other recruitment policies would remain the same. Maybe the infrastructure related aspects might be a negotiable thing, which comes up asking the candidate or the future employee, checking out whether they are conversant with the tools, they have the infrastructure, are they in a place where they don't have a power outages or some other disturbances which are related to external world. So these could be a new type of aspects which a recruiter would like to know and see. Then I would say from the employee point of view, yes, the affiliation, the whatever the teamwork, presence in the office, commute to the office. So all these things will be missing for some time, and so that's I think is taken because last 3 months people have been used to being at home and working. So probably this may hamper a bit the challenges for the HR again to come out with the creative solutions, how to make people feel affiliated though working remotely. Come 2021, probably we would have more of policies which are driven from work from home related aspects.
Post-COVID, how do you see the recruitment happening? Are there specific sectors that will take a hit? And will they be the ones that will see an uptick? What's your opinion, Geeta?
So I see that small and medium enterprises, especially the manufacturing, would take a hit in the small term. However, with the new labor laws coming in and also the aspect of hygiene factors, safety factors going up, would create an environment which would make organizations hire more, probably in the blue collar jobs. So the blue collar jobs again, which were not full time or permanent jobs, were more contractual in nature, now may see in certain factories or certain industries as a full time permanent jobs. I also feel that there could be a scenario where organizations which have a land bank, probably the companies which have a land bank, would have some quarters or housing facilities within their premises so that the work is not affected and people stay there. So the Factories Act or the labor laws which we have at present might be tweaked or interpreted differently to suit the manufacturing industry, which is a good move. However, we have to wait and see how it goes.
If HR moves to work from home, what will happen to the face-to-face interviews that we are all accustomed to with potential candidates? How do you evaluate them?
So I have seen at least 3 generations of recruiters starting from early 90s when personal interview was given a premium. There came the telephonic interviews, then the videos, then you also had people telephonically interviewed across different countries and continents. So now we are seeing something mix of all. From the HR point, from the interviewer or the recruiter point or the technical interviewer, the challenge will be more that it's not a face-to-face, in the sense physical one-to-one. However, the technology has already got used to giving this feel. There could be more tools. I see there could be a lot of security related tools built in so that people don't fake a interview or create a scenario where someone else is speaking and somebody else is shown. We have seen lot of horrific things in the recruitment in the last few decades. I am sure the technology will address all those things.
How do you think HR will change its recruitment policy? For example, no meetings with your recruiting team, no physical contact. How do you think human resources will adapt in a post-COVID scenario?
Yes, the challenge is you still have to hire with a risk, and a risk which can be mitigated. That's what is happening even today. but with no face-to-face and no one-to-one knowing and shaking the hands and seeing the body language and all that, those things probably would take a back seat. However, the new things would come on an assessment. What I say is the kind of questions you would ask, the kind of scenarios you would give, and give certain tools to assess the personalities if at all it requires to, and also give some live situations where you would see the problem solving, negotiation and other things, and of course technology questions. Probably you would do a online session kind of a thing for you to understand what depth the person has in technology. So there could be tools coming in. I see there is more opportunity here to develop such tools where you would not feel that you are missing out something just because it's a virtual or remote kind of an interview. And I also see that in recruitment there could be a lot of changes coming in. For example, outplacement, which we have been talking in the last few years, might be a different kind of an outplacement here, and the job portals, the Naukris or the Monsters, whatever, would take a different shift from what it is giving today to their customers. I also see there could be new kind of portals coming in with the use of technology, where the employer has a huge supply coming to him at his convenience to check out and see how they would fit in. And also in the recruitment we could see that the candidate can straight away send his profile to the CEO, which is happening actually now, and also give their credentials of what they are. So with working remotely and working from home, there could be more inclusivity for the people who are a little above the age probably to get into jobs because of their expertise and the long standing experience, because what counts today is more of experience to deal with complex situations. So what we were a little worried how to handle millennials, how to handle Y, Gen Y and Gen X and all. I think somewhere we are having a break-even point. I would say that you would see everybody with a talent, which probably when in the other situation was difficult. So work from home is actually giving you a mask not to know who is on the other side, except that you know on your records who is that. So if the work is getting done, it doesn't matter who is doing it. And another aspect which is coming into the scenario in the last 2-3 years is transgenders coming into the workforce. So here, working remotely, all those the kind of stereotypes, prejudices one would have faced on the job, which of course we all need to get to understand and relate to, probably is easier when people are working from home. So HR's job in that case is different now, that people will work from home, or at least a certain percentage of people will work from home.
How will compliance be ensured in a work from home scenario? It is something that the Indian companies are not really adept at. What is your opinion, Geeta?
So certain standard compliances of employee security related compliances, social security I mean, would remain, which will not be tinkered. However, the compliances which are related to demonstrate the code of conduct and also office security issues or information security issues, I see there will be a drastic change, and the rules might change. The way people perceive now is different. Because even in the corporate structure, you would see that chief information officer is someone who is consulted only when there is a security breach. But here they take the forefront now. More than a chief financial officer or a chief executive officer, is a chief information officer who would call shots now because of the client security and workers, employee security breach incidents. And also the compliances will be king for some more time, just like we say cash is king and all that, which is of course, which is true. But compliance also would take a very important role now that we are talking about employee health, welfare and also mental health. Not many of us understood what mental health would give to an organization. Now you have to come out with interventions which would bring in certain initiatives within the organization to ensure that employees are well equipped on this. Coming to certain acts like for example prevention of sexual harassment and some more acts which are very much driven from the workplace. So now the workplace itself is blurred. So these acts also would see some changes the way they get implemented within the organization. So I have already started taking cases coming from that background of law and women activism field. I see that the changes are already happening. So the way you would interpret and define workplace is now changed. So whichever act which was connecting to workplace has also, it will also be changing, and the interpretations would be different now.
Geeta, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us at Hybiz TV. It has been a pleasure speaking to you and understanding the major shifts happening in the field of human resources. Thank you very much.